What's up, everyone? It's KillaKawaiiCrew, and it's Show Me the Toys. And today we are gonna have Oddfrog Entertainment join us, and I'm really excited about it because, as I always say, I'm really excited. But this is why I'm really excited. I'm really excited because this is a very interesting company that not only is focusing on character development with their own character that's soon to come, but also the diorama elements towards toy collecting. As you all may know, when you are a toy collector like me, or many of you that watches, you tend to want to do some toy photography eventually. And it's really fun because the bright colors and all the, just everything, you get all the miniature little stuff. So Oddfrog Entertainment has a super hyper focus on the dioramas of the car scene. It's going to be around 1/12 scale. These cars are beautiful, guys. Like even the inside of the car has amazing detail. So that way with your because obviously we're in the 4K quality of the scene, so you want to make sure that you're getting any kind of modeling kind of cars or any kind of modeling background stuff that can show great detail for your cameras. So let's get him on here, and we're gonna have Johnny join us as well. I'm really excited to have Johnny. Happy about that. So let's get Johnny in here. Let's get Oddfrog in here. And these are two gentlemen, both with their designer degree. So it's going to be a really interesting take. What's up, Johnny?
Hey, y'all.
All right, I'm getting Oddfrog in here as we speak. And then I think he's going to have his other partner join as well. So we'll have both of them on here.
Cool.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
So go ahead and introduce yourself, Kelly, to everyone.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone.
Hey, guys. My name is Kelly. I am a co-founder of Oddfrog Entertainment, along with my business partner, who you'll meet very soon. I have a degree in product design, essentially, with an emphasis on toy from Otis College of Art and Design. It's essentially a product design degree where we had to also take like child psychology, safety, and materials and stuff like that. So it really fun school, but I always kind of joke that, we didn't get it out of the back of a magazine. It is an actual design school. Yeah. And it just has an emphasis on toy because we live in Southern California. Mattel's right down the street. I worked for Mattel for a couple years. Eddie's done a lot of freelance for the bigger companies and stuff like that. And I've always kind of worked for myself before I went back to school. I had 2 small businesses for about 12 years, doing custom window coverings and high-end draperies and stuff like that. So I have a little bit of a business sense, and I'm very independent-minded and want to build my own toys. So Eddie and I decided to create our own company, and yeah, here we are.
And I just love hearing that, because as being part of the art scene, and I'm sure Johnny can also relate to him.
Hi, Johnny.
Highlighting the this is Johnny, by the way. This is Johnny, my other partner in crime, who's in Houston as well.
Okay.
A big advocate of toys. He collects international toys as well. So he's all big on the headlock scene, all the way down to having resin toys. So he's like a big collector. Like I collect a little bit of everything, like I do.
Nice.
But what he, I put you in a nutshell. Are you okay with that? But go back into what you said. You highlighted a really fantastic point, and that was the business mindset of this toy. And I think a lot of people forget about that. That toys are so fun, right? Right, Johnny? Like toys are fun. So like you don't need to have a business mindset towards it, but you do. But this is still a business. What's your thoughts on that, Johnny?
Oh no, because having that extra funds there opens up more avenues, possibilities, allows you to expand your lineup, and it gives a little bit of a cushion to if think outside of the box you're already thinking outside of, even just nice to have that little bit of cushion.
It is a cushion having that business mindset, because now you really can be more confident in your work. Because I feel like when you are slacking in customer service or licenses or copyrights, there's a little lack of confidence where you're like, oh, is this going to go? It's like, you have that little more, just a little slight more worry. Yeah. How did you, and you already were talking about, like, you've been already like kind of being entrepreneuring, having your own businesses, which, I applaud. I love that mindset. Like I love California mindset. But, kind of talk about how did you discipline yourself to get to that mindset? Because I know it's not something that happens overnight.
For sure. And then just real quick, I want to mention that my partner should be popping in here as well. He's the 112th Street. He's the 112th Street Chop Shop. So I want to make sure he gets in here so he's half of it. So I want to make sure that he, if you guys are aware of him when he pops in.
Yeah, no, I'll make sure to add it. It like tells me like, hey,
okay, awesome.
So I'll make sure that he comes on in. I'm excited to meet him too, because again, the 12 scale, all of this is great business choices, not as well great art choices, but like, I don't know if you guys know, but like 112 scale is such a great scaling to pick for action figures. Yeah. Like, it's a very popular scale. I would say 1/6, 112, maybe 1/8, but I think 112 is like almost the #1 most popular scale. Why did you guys decide to pick that one?
That was really Eddie. So, you know, we knew we wanted to get into toys, and we wanted to get into action figures because that's, you know, what we grew up with, like you guys. You know, G.I. Joe was near and dear to my heart, still my favorite toy of all time.
Yeah.
And so we were just kind of looking for an in into that world. And Eddie did a lot of research and hunting around online and joining these groups and stuff. And he found this gentleman who was already doing a 112 scale car. And that's the other thing that we noticed when we found this guy is like nobody's doing any vehicles, at least at the time.
I don't see anyone doing custom cars like 3D printing wise, and you guys are going hard vinyl with it, which that's like a really big step. Never seen that with cars. I have Tenacious Toys has like some cool cars that you guys can see, but like it's not like these cars, like again, that are that 112 scale, and then it's going to be hard vinyl too, and there's also a 3D print option. That's just really cool. Like all the variety you give.
Yeah, it's going to be high impact ABS plastic from a manufacturer. So we have a manufacturer in Guangdong, China. The name is escaping me right now, but they're basically a tooling company that does high-end detailed tooling.
Oh wow!
We have an engineer. Yeah, so we're that's why we need to get to the certain amount of units we do, is because we're gonna have a production model. We have a box designed.
Oh.
You know, the full package. So like we make toys, and that's what we wanted to do. So yeah, back to the choice to do the car thing is really, and Eddie will talk more to this because it was really his baby and his kind of vision.
You guys are a true team. Like, I love that you give him so much praise. Like, it shows like how deep your bond is between each other. Because again, that's another thing that's hard with artists. You know, we all love being very individual and very independent, and we don't want to work with others. It's hard to work with two very creative minds together. So it's really cool to see like how strong your guys' bond is. It's like I'm so excited for Eddie to come. Like, it's awesome.
And I think he's in here now too. But yeah, he's my best friend.
Invite him real quick.
We met each other in art school about 10 years ago, taking a sculpture class. And then I was the first to go to Otis, and then he went right behind me with the same thing. And so we both have a passion for this. Enough to sink our entire lives into it. So
that's just the coolest thing. I mean, and it's like, it is a whole life commitment. Like, and this has taken time. Like, how much time would you guys say you've invested into this?
Like, school wise, it ended up being about 5.5 years for me, because I went to community college to get an illustration degree first and got kind of drafted into Otis for toy design and product design. There he is.
Here we go.
Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Sorry, I'm a little late. I've been watching and I didn't request. I've just been listening and listening to Kerry tell a story as he does so well.
It's weird to hear someone talk about you, right?
It is a bit weird. It's flattering. I mean, like you said, we've been friends for quite a long time, and I mean, we're all in on this, and it's definitely a passion. And I mean, I just hope it shows, and we're able to actually put this to market along with all the other ideas we've been brewing and developing within the last couple of years as a young company.
Oh yeah, I mean, you guys are a super young company, but it really doesn't show with the quality of your craftsmanship.
Thank you.
Like, if we would like take away the numbers, the followers, whatever, we don't look at that, which is what I try to always do, right? And you look at the work, you would think you guys been doing this for like 10 years. Like, you guys been doing
Well, like Kelly said, when you put the experience of what we have like with business and the school we went to. It's definitely like 4 years of school. It's hard work. It's, you know, not other people make it through.
Yeah.
And then the internships and then the freelance work. I mean, it's 10, 12 years combined experience. So, I mean, like you said, when you take away some of it, but when you look at it on paper, it's all there. You know, we just need those numbers. We need, and we need to start making that mark and that ripple.
Yeah. Right, you know, and I'm sure like there's been a bunch of investment, and you guys haven't probably seen your full investment back because you know I'm at that point. You know, that's what it is as an artist. It sucks, right? So, but like,
it does.
But you guys are so excited. I see like the confidence where it's like I'm gonna be a customer soon. I showed Johnny your page. Johnny, what did you think of the cars?
Oh, I told them via DM, I think on Instagram, about the level of detail that y'all are pulling together in. I mean, I was blown away. Like I was saying, when I was a kid, you bought a die-cast car, you played around with your G.I. Joes and stuff like that, and you were lucky if there was like a gear shift lever or maybe something looked like a...
That's cool. That's a cool story right there.
Like the Tonka ones, right? Die-cast Tonkas.
Yeah. I mean, that's nothing compared to what y'all have shown me is available.
Thank you, man.
To the community today. And like you were asking about cars and how to get into that. And y'all are SoCal, right?
Yeah. Here in LA, born and raised, Southern California, Tehachapi, Kelly here, man. They're locals.
Huge culture in y'all's part of the country. Cars
it is. Car culture is huge in California.
I think it was big here in Texas, but I mean, it's like y'all created that because it was the custom car culture. It was customizing your car.
And believe it or not, that's something new that we kind of stumbled across, like the actual car community. We were definitely gearing towards action figures, 1/12 scale, which is the most popular line right now. Aside from like maybe 1/18th, which is a bit smaller, but 1/12 scale is the hottest line out. Size, I guess you could say. But then, so we try to do vehicles for that. But then we started to realize that, you know, actual people, the actual car culture, they get started in the cars when they're very young, collecting cars and models and customizing and like kits and stuff. So that's why we started looking at our car that way, you know. We can then develop it to be more like a model kit, yet a toy at the same time with the customization, the swapping of the parts, the additional, you know, everything. And it's like, it's just opened up more avenues, more, you know, more eyes to the product that we didn't consider in the beginning.
And that's go ahead, John.
A lot of ground here. I mean, like you said, you've got figure folk, you got car folks, you got people that
photography.
Yeah, for sure, because the level of detail allowing you to really get in there on the figure, on the car. The car is just as much a part of the photo as the figure.
Yes.
Okay, let me touch on that. So that's, you know, the 112th Street Chop Shop, that's part of the idea. The Bandido, like Kelly emphasizes it a lot. Story, right? Story, it's what sells. So the car itself is meant to be a character. You know, it's meant to be your personalized character. Therefore, we're adding it into the comic. We're trying to make it have a story, you created story, and then it's not just a side prop, it's a main character in your picture, and then maybe your character's on the background and the car's the main piece, the car's front and center, you know? And that's kind of the point of it.
Yeah, I was touching on that with Kelly. I was like, you know, I have a bunch of like soapy monsters or kawaii monsters. Like I would make them like the sexy ladies in the car. I would make them pose little sexy ladies on the car. You know what I'm saying? Like it really opens your mind to the creativity of it. And I love how you're saying the car has character. I mean, it reminds me of the old classic movie of the Love Bug. Bug.
Yeah. I mean, Transformers, and essentially Transformers. I mean, they have life. The cars have life.
Let me just interject real quick there, because we grew up in Southern California, and I was out in the mountainous desert, and we all had Baja bugs, Volkswagen.
Yes.
So like, that's close to my heart.
Bugs out
there. You gotta make that. I better see one of those eventually then.
Exactly.
Uncle had
Well, we'll show some stuff later. We have a version of an off-road where it's like raised, like, I mean, at least like 4 feet off the ground. Like, we have renders of it. We'll start showing more of the stuff that we were trying to keep under wraps. But I mean, it's go time. You know, we'll just show kind of what we've been working on. And
but you know, the price point's very efficient. I mean, if we talk about 112 toys, there, you know, there's a higher price point. These are collector cars. You know, we're not playing with them. But for $185 for completely painted with basically car paint quality, is very, very, like, full rundown is very, very affordable.
Yeah, it's
Eddie. Do you mind if I take this one?
Okay, yeah. The versions that like the green version or the actual base model version is gonna be like a matte gray, a matte black. So that we went with the matte black because that actually allows for the customizer to apply their paint job and the paint to adhere to the plastic a lot easier. So it's a matte black. We have box pictures of it in the box. We can start showing more of those, but it is a matte black. And then that allows the customization, the colors, and then the interchangeability. The matte black is a better base for customization and having it like a high gloss finish or anything like that.
So I wanted the high gloss finish when we first got started on this because I was at Mattel and they're like, oh no, make everything shiny and you know that's what sells. And so I'm like, no, what are you talking about, dude? We got to make this look good in pictures and stuff. And Eddie really stuck to his vision and it was like, no, dude, that's not the point here. The point is the customizers are the feature, really. You know, let's let them do it. And what we started to learn was that what would be cool about that is the car would look different in every photograph you would see on Instagram. And that would be almost a selling point within itself.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, you were really smart on that, Eddie. Like, you really were. You could tell that you did research in the toy scene because the sculptor gets the least amount of profit. And that's honestly the truth. So the sculptor's goal, and that's the truth. I mean, I hate it. I'm also sculpting, but it's the truth. So your goal is bulk selling, right? And the way to bulk sell is to the customizers. Yeah. And I was even talking about this with Kelly, like you guys doing a little art show, even giving some freebies to some big customizers, connecting some people would be so
the next step.
cool. Like I want to see some graffiti on those cars.
Yeah.
I want to see a lowrider. Like I want to see people's what I can see people doing, real good artists is doing what their actual car looks like. That's really cool.
That's the point.
How you, like, take care of your own kind of car, like, or the kind of setup of your car. That's cool. I mean, how do you beat that? That's so badass.
Yep. Yeah.
But the other night,
so let me talk about the price point real quick because we're actually really proud of it. So when we were developing this, we had about 6 months of design time and time to think about this car before we even heard of the HasLab Engine of Vengeance. Like that just
before anybody did.
And we woke up and it's all over YouTube and it's Hasbro with like 10 million people. And we're just like, did we just throw away a year of our life right now? You know what I mean? There's no way we're going to be able to compete with that. But we had really already had our price at, I think around 175 is what we had it at that time. And we raised it $10 like early on. And we really want to stick there. And I'll break those numbers down in just a second. But when we heard that their car was going to be $350, I just looked at Eddie and I'm like, did we miss something completely catastrophic?
Yeah, we undersold ourselves.
Well, not only that, but I figured I missed some big step in the whole process to get
of coming up with the MSRP.
Yeah. So no, it turns we went over the numbers several more times just to make sure that we had everything covered. And let me just break that down real quick for you guys. And I'm going to be a little bit vague on like individual unit costs just because we're trying to go to distributors right now and I need to be able to have a little bit of fluctuation with them.
You know, just the fact that you're sharing numbers, like, you know, a lot of artists are so greedy with certain information. So just the fact that you guys are being so open and honest, because I do know for a fact that there's some overcharged price points for 3D prints and like it's beyond insane, like overcharged price points. So it's really great for you guys to highlight on that. So go ahead and continue.
Well, okay, yeah, I would say first of all, we've kind of had to be transparent as a company from early on because as I was saying earlier, we had found this guy that was going to produce this 1/12 scale car and we reached out to him and was like, hey, we can design that better for you. and he was all on board. And we spent about, like I said, 6 months designing this car for him. Turns out he had taken a bunch of money from collectors up front, which
Pre-orders,
yeah, pre-orders. And then when we sent him a check or a bill for our design work, and we were about to go to production, I mean, this car would have been out 8 months ago if this would have all worked out properly. But he just stopped communicating with us completely, and he kept for a while. He was like, "Oh, the money's in the bank. It's being transferred. It's a new account." We're like, "Okay." A month goes by, nothing happens. I finally have to reach out to the Big Bad Toy Store and write a letter to them saying, we're no longer going to be designing for the 112 garage because I can't get the guy to pay us and I can't get him to communicate with us. So even if he sends a check, at this point, I have no assurance that he's going to be a good business partner later when I can't get him to even communicate with us.
And I know
so right then, early on, that blew up our brand.
Like that was online. Your fans saw it. Your followers saw it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right off the bat.
That's a tough business decision because you already know in the beginning, as a new company, you're going to be disappointing someone. Someone's going to be disappointed.
Yep.
So, I mean,
it was everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone was disappointed.
I give you guys so much props for doing that and still holding your head high because it wasn't a bad decision. It was still a good decision. Maybe,
Agreed.
Nice is different than good. It wasn't the nice decision to make, but it was the good decision to make.
Well, I'll tell you,
that's why we
what it did.
Went to YouTube.
It taught us to fight for our brand. It taught us to fight for our brand. And no one ever said it was going to be easy. And I always use AC/DC in our ads. It's a long way to the top because, you get beat up and broken boned along the way, but you just keep pushing forward. Winston Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going. So that's what we're doing,
I think it's so well said. Honestly, you have to, if you want to make it, you have to fight to it.
Yep.
Like you really do. It's not easy to do. And I think you guys really are killing it. I mean, like, I think you guys are way ahead of so many different kind of mindsets that just started in the toy scene during the pandemic time. Like, it's a very different mindset you have towards it. You're like, that's okay if we didn't do good the first time. We're going to keep on going. Yep. I know this idea is good. I'm not going to stop. Like, that's the mindset you have to have.
And the proof is in the pudding with all these other companies starting to put out 112 scale vehicles like Hasbro. I think they did another like Has Lab with like a jet or a helicopter. Then there are also smaller companies like Ramen Toys, who has a similar Charger vehicle that they're putting out. That we actually had communication with them also early on in the whole process and almost partnered with them. Now you have Mesco. Kelly showed a motorcycle maybe a couple of days ago. Now you have Mesco Toys showing a armored vehicle and a motorcycle. You have Valaverse with another armored vehicle. So the fact that we were on this idea and on this trend of vehicles like 2.5 years ago just shows us that we're, like I said, on trend and like somewhat ahead of the game. It's just our resources are so limited that we can't necessarily quite put our vision out to the masses just yet.
You guys are so close. Go ahead, Johnny.
No, I was just saying, that's a good point though, because like you're saying, you're seeing the need. Maybe these bigger guys have got a little more cash and they can throw their product out there faster just because they got a bigger company to work with.
Yes.
But
and they have the credibility, they have the the toys, the product experience, and like you said, that's a line we learned at school. Like, you see a need, you feel a need. You don't just come out with the product that's already out and you compete with what's out there.
Yeah.
You come out with something brand new, and then you fill that void, and now you have other companies competing in your area.
Yeah.
Like I said though, we haven't just been able to get that traction, but we're definitely pedal to the metal trying to hit top speed, but we're going, man. We're going.
Okay, I got a bunch of artists in here, so I hope they hear, like, they're looking for customizers, guys. Like, they want people to customize their lives.
Yeah, because I've seen people down there that, in fact, are customizers, are diorama folks.
Yeah.
I mean, I chatted with him the other day. He's doing amazing stuff with dioramas, and this would fit in with that perfectly. Creating a scene. Like, it's almost like a cinematographer from a movie, and you're creating a single scene from a movie and it's so detailed that it's just really like you saw it on the screen and you've got it there in front of you, and you're just getting to shoot it from whatever angle you want. Because it's customizable, you could swap the grill, do something else. Character in there. You've got your next scene in.
The grill, the seats.
We wanted you to be able to tell your story and different stories. So, you guys, I got sidetracked a minute ago. I want to get to the numbers real quick because I do think it's important for us to be as transparent as possible about the numbers, since we are a smaller, younger company. So basically, we had a Kickstarter at the end of last year, and we were going for 4,000 units at 185. That would have made our business. So, so the 1,500 units that we, so we would have been able to go to our next car without even crowdfunding. That's what we were trying to go for, because we had just seen the Engine of Vengeance. It failed, but even though it failed, I think it got like 7,500 people or something on board. We only needed part of that. So
and highlight on that, it only failed because their goal was 6 and they hit 4.
It was ridiculous.
Very, very close. So it wasn't like they really failed.
No, exactly.
It had to hit that goal to get the money.
The marketplace was there.
How that works.
The marketplace was there, is what we figured. Once the Kickstarter did not go through for us, we weren't a big enough company, not enough word out there. We kind of took a month off to kind of recalculate what we wanted to do with the car. And
we looked into Indiegogo.
Indiegogo, and that was an option to us in the beginning. Anyway, since the Kickstarter didn't go, Eddie and I just took a real hard look at, like, what do we want to do? Do we want to, do we need to set up this whole line on the back of this one car? Or can we just strip it of all profit for our company and get it to market? So the 1,500 units that we need to sell at 185, basically the tooling cost is right around $150,000. I think it's 147 or something like that. We have 6 pieces of tooling. We have 76 pieces to the car. And I'll just add about the car that we had to design the inside of the car because we knew that collectors are going to be pulling this apart. So you can't have a piece that's going to be removed and replaced multiple times that has thin edges where it has to attach. Eddie and I have spent the last 4 months poring over every piece of the inside of the car. We have like 3 prototypes now that we're just like making sure everything is going to work like we say it does when it gets to you guys. So, so 76 pieces, 6 pieces of tooling. It's all about $18,000 per piece of tooling. The 1,500 units comes up to, I think, about $347,000 in total. Okay, so after we get the tooling at about $150,000, I need to get it here. I need to get the individual units made, 1,500 of those. That roughly comes to around, let's say, the $100,000 range. Then I need to get it on a container and a half to get it here and various other locations. Once it gets here, we've partnered with a delivery company because I don't want to be a delivery company. I would screw it up, and I want everybody to have an A+ experience throughout the whole process. So we partnered with iPack Delivery, and we're figuring about $40 per box to ship, give or take, and we're covering shipping in the United States. So those prices are what goes into that 1,500 units at $185. Eddie and I make about $15,000, and I guarantee you that is going to go away in just the little details of the. Yes, exactly, exactly.
Well, you'll be
even
you'll be lucky to break even first year. That's usually how it goes down. With these kind of business decisions, especially because like such a niche community, right? Like it is a little more niche, but damn, that quality, like, and just to think about like how much time you guys put for how it does break off for people who want to customize, like that's a lot of time, and that's a lot of prototyping and breaking and like playing around, literally playing with your toy. And I think, and mentioning the shipping being in the price point, that makes me happy, right? Like I have always talked about that with other people who are in sales. I'm like, just include it in your price point. Include it in your price. If I see one number, I'm happy. I see more than one number, I'm not happy. I don't even care if that other number is 99 cents. I'm still not happy. Why is there 2 numbers? Like, it's Like, and there's no need. So I really love, like I said, there's so much thought process behind it. It shows like the goal that you really have. Like, you're not backing down. You guys are two people acting like a corporation of a million. I love that mentality right there. Like, you know, that is some serious work. Like, that's some serious shit right there, bro.
Thank
like,
you.
Thank
I'm
you.
pumped
Thank
for
you.
it. Honestly. I'm really excited for it. Yeah, and like someone said, Beer King, love you, buddy. Quality makes it worth it for sure. Yes, absolutely.
That's right.
Like, and they put the money towards, a lot of money to put towards a hope and a dream. And that's a gamble. And you guys definitely are some gamblers right here. And I love it. Like, that's just amazing that you were able to put so much time and effort to be like, this is going to be worth it. Because I can tell you right now, in the Sofubi scene, mass production, it's usually around 10,000. And people are scared to make that jump.
Yeah.
Just 10. And you guys made 3-digit jumps. And that is just so impressive to me, because I want one of those cars. Johnny wants one of those cars. And I don't even have any 12. Well, I want to do stuff with all my other weird, bizarre things I have with it, just because it is such high quality. The inside is what really sells me on it, because my camera can get really, it zooms in very, very well. And you can see things, everything.
I'll let
Everything, all the above.
I'll let Eddie talk about that. I just want to mention one thing. And this is a thing that I learned at Mattel, is that some of the details are free. It just costs you the time to sit there and work it out before you build the product. So any of the stuff that is molded is free. You just have to take the time and sit there and know what you want and design it. So that being said, this is really kind of Eddie's baby as far as the 112 Street Chop Shop, and he pushed for all the design details. So I'll let him talk about that.
To you, Eddie. Honestly, I applaud you, buddy. Like, your brain.
Thank you. No, yeah,
like,
thank you. Yeah.
Like, it's fantastic. You don't
I
sleep much, do you?
appreciate it. You know, sometimes it feels like there's more than 3 brains in there, but you know, we make it work all together. But I mean, yeah, the detail and the interchangeability, the customizability, it was definitely something that was not out on the market, like mass produced, but you know, people were doing it on a smaller scale with figures and whatnot. So that's something we definitely focus on, and we continue to reiterate that the customizability, the modular part, the additional kits that we plan to offer that completely change the aesthetic of the car, and to make it look like a Back to the Future-esque with, you know, hovering jets or like off-road. And now with even that new show, Twisted Metal getting a show, like we're trying to come out with more visions or closer resemblance to, like, you know, with weapons on the side, the big wheels, you take the front windshield out and now it's a metal grate and it looks like it has barbed wire. I mean, the sky's the limit with it. And it's like I said, it's a prototype. The first one was a prototype, and like Kelly keeps saying, the details are free. So that's part of why we keep coming back to the community, and we're like, what do you guys think of this? What do you think of that? How does this look? People are like, well, it looks cool. We don't like the logo on the outside. That's why we're even removing that little logo you see on the front quarter panel, putting it on like the front steering wheel. The word Bandido in the front might go, or we'll just offer a grill that won't have it with it. You know, we'll put it on the bottom. I mean, you know, the customer and customer service, the customer's always right. So we're trying to please as many people as we can while keeping true to our vision and just maintaining what we can do at a high quality.
Yeah, and I think the other cool thing with your car that I see from it as a business owner, like just even as a business owner wanting to own that car, I can put my logo on it. So I understand why customizers would not want your logo on it. And that's kind of like, I feel like this is a very 50-50 on how people feel about this, but like, I feel like I don't like label whoring. I love customized pieces. I love that you can't get it. I love when you look at it, you're like, what is that? I want to know where you got it. I'm like, you can't get this at Walmart, bruh. Sorry. That's the mentality I like to say. Like, you know, so I think you listening to your customers is a really good thing. You know, I know a lot of artists, they see one thing sell and they stay with that one way or stay with that one style. And I really can see that you guys really want to develop and adapt with what's going on. And like you said, what's trending. And if you can, and like the next question I actually was going to ask was, what if someone asked you to customize for a different scale? Let's just get like real absurd. Like I said, okay, buddy, I want something for my weed stash toy. Make me a spaceship.
I mean, digitally, it's a matter of scaling the design up a bit to whatever scale you need. We can literally scan that or measure it, you know, and get that measurement inside whatever program we need, scale the model up, boom, easy as that. Now it's in your scale, like whatever you need.
And you guys make that process very fun too, because a lot of people I'm starting to notice, hearing from like, you know, my friends who are also like, you know, customizing like Son of a Saint, that people are really afraid to ask what they want.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, like ask, hey, I want this, can you do it? Like, what is the good advice you give for someone who wanted to come up to you about a customization, asking about it? Like, what are like key things that you need to know or ask that are really important?
We're doing a custom right now.
That's gonna say.
And I would say one of the things that is a challenge with designing digitally like that, even though there's a lot of advantages like that, you can scale it to whatever you want. When you're working in a digital space, you don't necessarily know that the hand is going to fit on the handlebar. You kind of have to take a little bit of risk, and it's not.
That's the first prototype right there.
Something out like this.
Oh, so cool.
But you know, again, this is the level we want to bring to everything. So I don't want to say how much I'm charging this guy for this, because I'm really just having him cover material costs for his final product.
So like you're saying, yeah, that's a one-off customized piece that somebody reached out to us and we're like, I want a 1/12 scale motorcycle. They came to us with a vision, some ideas, like a vision board of what they wanted it to look like. And then you know, start developing a 3D model,
real leather.
Interchange emails.
Real leather? What? That's awesome.
I work at the art college that Eddie.
Awesome.
I work at the art college that Eddie and I went to, and so I have all this material and equipment and programs.
Literally all the material.
Yeah.
That is just so cool. And like you said, with customs, it's really hard to give a price point.
Yeah.
Too. But if that guy never reached out to you and never asked, you would have never grown as well. So it's like, it's a win-win on both your guys' end. So that's why you're so willing to hook them up, because this was the first time you were doing something like that. And that's really cool, because you guys are so, like you said, 10 years of experience, and you're still willing to hook this customer up just because they were willing to take a chance on you guys. It shows how loyal you really are to your customers. And how
absolutely.
Really
and the other, well, and the way we look at it is, it's going to be a monumental task once we do get this car to market. That'll be a thing, right? But we need to get stuff that we've designed and out there so it can start being in the pictures. And so it's probably way more valuable to us to go through the time and effort to design him this car motorcycle than whatever he could really pay for us down the line. You know, it's much more valuable to have your
the exposure is the exposure. You know, the exposure, you can't pay for the exposure, like him getting it out there and being like, people being able to see the quality or the detail, and then in pictures or whatever the case may be, like just having something tangible to be able to be seen as a company is what's essential. And that's part of why Kelly mentioned and touched on earlier, why we stripped all profit and why we just wanted to just get the car out and not the whole backbone of the company started.
Yeah, because that, like I said, the 185 is way too, it's very inexpensive for a model piece, guys. Like if you think of Gundam like setup model kits and like those basic car kits, like this is very affordable in my opinion. It's very,
size,
very,
right? Yeah,
it is.
What do you think, Johnny? I know you're gonna say something. Sorry to cut you off.
Talking about, by getting this out into the hands of the collectors, you're getting not only free press that you're getting is from the actual consumer, which to the consumer, honestly, it means more than any kind of like thought out, advertising plan. Sorry, somebody else's results with what you've done hits more people than you're ever going to hit with a glossy this or whatever, and by helping out, not only are you doing that, but you're also opening yourself up to ideas that maybe you didn't know were there. So you could fill a niche that you didn't even maybe know was there because you took the time to listen and then out. And then you're really helping each other out, which helps all of us in the end, really.
Which is how art is supposed to be healing.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's like the whole big picture of everything. You know, it's healing you guys, it's healing the customer. I mean, I'm very excited to see what people are going to come out with this. Like, are you guys going to come up with like maybe a little hashtag that people can make, or just making sure they tag you? You should even do some type of like reward system, like, hey, tag it and we'll put you guys in the lotto and you'll get a little free accessory or something like that. Because I have to agree, when Johnny sends me a picture of a toy, okay, and I'm telling you, I've seen, that's all I look at, guys.
The whole feed is toys.
Like,
the whole feed is
the
toys,
whole
toys,
feed
toys.
is toys. But when Johnny sends me a toy, or Oliver sends me a toy, my little toy collecting squad, I trust that judgment 10,000 times more than any picture or any advertisement, because it's someone I know. Like, it's just how it works.
Well, and I used to joke, because of my experience at Mattel, like, if Oddfrog Entertainment ever hired marketers, it would only be to fire them and laugh at them as they left the building. But I'm finding that it really is a thing, and there's a lot of psychology to it. It's not just getting on social media and putting pictures out there. There's really a lot more to it than I realized. And so, you know, it's been a real journey. It's been a real journey. You know, we put our product out there, and just kind of, you know, let the world say what they would about it. And maybe we weren't ready when we first started. You know, when we launched our Kickstarter, our prototype was being made. So like, we launched a Kickstarter and still didn't have our prototype for 2 more weeks. And that's just our naivete as starting a new company, you know. So we've never done this before.
But antsy, you know, eager, and we were
ambitious. You were super ambitious. I really feel like that's such a little tiny mistake. Like, okay, we can do this.
Oh, for sure.
Like, this close, we were this close, and it didn't happen. Like, no, that was just a little chance game right there. I can't even say it's a flaw of a company. I think that was you guys just trying to kick some ass, honestly.
Thank you. And well, we knew we were going to produce it, you know, and there was some doubt out there whether
we had means of producing it. We were able to do it at least if we reached that number.
We got our manufacturer in line before we ever even designed a product, because not necessarily true, but like, we had designed a plush doll for the San Diego Chargers.
What?
And
that's so cool.
Yeah.
The guy, didn't you know the guy? There's a guy who dresses up in a boat costume, and he kind of reached out to. Somehow I got a hold of him, and we talked for a bit. I think his name was Ken, and he goes to the Chargers and dresses up in a big boat costume, and he wanted like 500 plush of the boat costume, you know, made, and you know, we did that for a while. It was pretty cool, but yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Someone says that entrepreneurial spiral right there. Yes, exactly.
Yep.
That's bad.
We found this manufacturer for our very minimal plush order, and they lagged on us for a long time, and then said that we didn't give them that we were late, and now it was going to cost more. Eddie and I look at each other, we're like, all right, no thanks. And they're like, oh, no, we'll do it.
Oh yeah, now
so we had those made.
You were like, okay, we don't need the deal. They were like, okay, never mind, we'll go back to our old numbers.
Yeah.
that made me so mad. That made me more mad. That would just even irritate me more.
So we had those made, but then we were like, oh man, this is kind of shady. We need a solid manufacturer.
Yeah.
And we reached out to one of our old professors who was also an entrepreneur who worked in promotional toys like Taco Bell and McDonald's Happy Meal toys, where you have to produce 3 million at a time. And he connected us with his old guy in Hong Kong that's been manufacturing toys for 30 years. And his protege, Johnny, who did all the engineering of the car for us, the lights, the placement of the batteries under the engine, the locking mechanism on the hood.
Don't even think about like the placement of the battery. Like, that's a very important thing. And you want a company that if you don't catch it, they're going to catch it. You know, so like, I understand why you need to find a company that doesn't have that sketchiness or like, you know, just trying to take your money and you can't see them. So there's a lot of trust. Like, okay, I'm sending my toy across seas. I really hope they make it the way they say they're going to make it.
Yes.
And
that's exactly right.
Yeah, that's what I'd be petrified.
Yeah.
That's my baby. just like maybe I'm sending it to another person's hands, and they say they're going to do it this way, and I really hope they do. Deadman wants to know when you guys are going to start filling orders.
Yeah.
As soon as we get to 1,500 pre-orders, we ship it. We send the money to our manufacturer.
Okay.
Well, part of it, right? Because we need 150,000 for manufacturing. That's to build the tooling, and then we need close to 100,000 just to make the individual units. Like I said, 76 pieces, guys, lights, details, all that stuff. And so from the time we get our 1,500 units to the time we ship it to you is a 155-day process. So about 5.5 months, give or take, to actually manufacture those cars. Just again, we're not 3D printing this. We have a manufacturer lined up, and they have
vinyl. That's just like, so I don't know, like for people who don't understand, that's a big deal. I've never seen a car made of hard vinyl like that before.
I guess I'm not understanding his question.
I think
what were you saying?
Trying to ask how quickly could you, once you've got them in your hands, get them into the hands of reviewers so that reviewers can start helping getting your name out. I think is what he was.
I think maybe I misunderstood.
Out on when you think you might hit your number based on the way things have been increasing.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. Okay.
Worry.
So it's kind of hard to judge right now because I'm in talks with a popular distributor, and I don't want to mention who they are because I don't want to jeopardize anything. And the real trick of that is we've priced the car at $185 and stripped all profit. So I have to offer him some meat on the bone to be able to sell the pre-order the car.
Yes.
So we reached out and did some polls and stuff, what people thought might be a fair price. And I gave some numbers, and it looks like around $229 people will still go to for the added security of getting it through a distributor. So what I'm offering him could jump the numbers quite drastically. So I would say if it keeps trickling in the way it does, it's going to be like probably another 5 to 6 months.
Okay.
Which doesn't bother me necessarily, but I know a lot of people in the community have an expectation for pre-orders and a timeline.
Yes.
One of the things we've done is we've offered 2 options. You can pay through PayPal, which it is going to take your money right up front for the pre-order. If you ever back out, that's sitting in our business PayPal. We need every dime of it for tooling, so it's not going anywhere. Several people have requested their money back, and we've just immediately given it to them. Some people are in for the long haul, and most of the people have basically ordered through a promise to pay pre-order.
Okay.
So to answer Deadman's question, it's kind of hard to say. I would say, at the beginning, let's say March area, we had like around 200, and we've had 100 more orders trickle in since then. So, if it keeps going like that, it could take quite a while. But I think what we've done now is we've built a press kit, which I sent to you, and we have a press release. So now that we have this, it's much easier for us to put a forward face to media. I want to reach out to Action Figure Insider and stuff like that. And I really like to start presenting ourselves as the company we are now that we have something to present.
Yeah. Like basically that's good to know. Like, basically you're investing in this product right now, and you're going to do $185. You're going to do this investment in this product, and it's possible within, give or take, it's a year range. Let's just give it a year. Give you a little extra gap, right?
Yep.
A year range, depending how many pre-orders you get. Now, if you get like 500 pre-orders in the next month, that number is going to lessen every single time. So if you guys really want this card to get released, you need to share it with every single person that would want something like this. I'm going to probably put in a pre-order. So like that, but that's the goal. That's the whole thing about supporting a micro company. If you're an anti-1%er like I am, who likes supporting micro companies because it's really cool to be like, hey, I know this guy, and I know this guy, and I buy their stuff. But that's a lot better than buying someone you don't know, who don't give two hells about.
And that's exactly right. So just to emphasize a little bit more of that to Deadman's question, I think it really is just going to depend on how long it takes us to build that trust with people who don't know who we are yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, we've got a YouTube channel. We've been doing a podcast for the last year. So there's plenty of information where you can go see us talk about the product, and all of our story is out there. So we think as people come on board and realize that we have this whole kind of groundwork established for who we are, that you have the opportunity to go learn about us and establish that trust, hopefully fairly quickly, and see the quality of what we're offering, and you know, make that decision.
And then are you guys inviting any kind of like incentive for the people that are part of this Kickstarter who have been, you know, basically supporting you guys without the profit right now? Are you giving like a little free little gift kind of a thing?
You know, because, well, yes. So because we've stripped all the profit out of the 1,500 unit run, what we've done is we've created a smaller little tier system. Okay. So if you bought into the car right now, you're already getting the stock hood and stock engine option, which may not seem like a lot, but once you go to customize, it is a lot. It's cheap for us to make, which makes it possible. You know, it's just a little bit of plastic. So we don't have to eat into the nothing profit we have to be able to make that, right? Once the tooling is there, it's probably 25 cents to make the hood of the car. Nice. And we can just say, thank you, here's the stock option. But when we get to 500 units.
Can you make it like a limited kind of thing? It's like the first run of them and something like that? Well,
the limited thing is going to be this. So we're creating what we call a line of action vehicles. So like in the 70s or late 60s, Hasbro coined the term action figures, and we're like, hey, why not have action vehicles? Because of the modular aspect and the storytelling. Yeah. So we're calling this the first 1,500 collectible units of a line of action vehicles, and Eddie and I are going to put a certificate of authenticity numbered by the people that have ordered, and we'll sign it with a stamp. We've actually already designed a lot of it, and
cool.
So we're looking at also the collectability aspect and the value of it down the line.
Yeah.
So
speaking of designing it, we got down to the details. So the certificate, we're planning it to look like a pink slip of a car that you would get when you buy a car, you know. So it's like, you know, we're doing the details, the Easter eggs, you know, trying to make it as appealing to customizers and people and car people, and just overall looking at it all as a product, you know, instead of just a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that because, and me and Johnny can definitely relate to this. The unboxing element towards a toy is just as fun as getting the toy. And I'm a psychology major, so this is why I love, you know, the marketing element, but I hate to use this comparison, it's a little morbid, but they talk about it with drug addicts, that drug addicts enjoy doing the process to get their drug set up just as much as getting high. So the fact, that's a proven fact. But it's like but just the fact that you're including the pink slip, all this little stuff, that's going to give a lot of the customers who are collectors that loyalty element to here. Here's $185. I'm trusting you guys because I see how much you're willing to give me basically for free, because you guys even said yourselves, you're stripping all the profit. You just want to get it produced. Yeah. You just want to get it out there. Yep. That's the real thing. That's the real goal. And then reminds me of GTA San Andreas when Carl gets the pink slip from the race.
You know, I want to talk about that for a minute. That's such a great point, because we've talked to the team about this before, is that, you know, your biggest competition in toy is video games, really. And so instead of like being fearful of that whole thing, I want to embrace the nature of what's fun about video games and allow you to customize your action figure, allow you to customize the car. Me and my buddies play Halo and before it sucked online, and Fortnite. And it's like, what I really like is
impressed with that game. Very impressed with it.
Is the ability to customize your own character and be unique out in that world. And it's like, no, let's embrace that. And Eddie and I have this architecture for an action figure-based tabletop strategy game that I don't want to talk too much about it.
He told me a little bit about it, guys, and let me tell you, like, almost peed myself a little bit how excited I was, because I'm just such a sucker for board games. And I already am in the process of making my Pokemon D&D, and then I'm trying to make a designer toy D&D for my Twitch channel.
Yeah.
So if there's a car bad guy, I need to have it. This just needs to happen. So it's just really, really cool that you guys are just putting all those elements in it. And just to be honest, the gamer is the collector.
Yeah.
So to be afraid of video games, like, you should be inspired. You know, I know a lot of people like to copy and paste things, you know, or use pop culture. You guys aren't doing that, but you're still letting pop culture, which I always say, you can tell when an artist is really trying when you can still see the pop culture in it, but it's their pop culture now. Like, no longer what it was, it's now theirs. And now we're going to go to about your frogs.
Yeah.
Because, like, not only are you guys making these fantastic toys and you're, like, making these cars alive and just going above and beyond and just you know, just spitting out beautiful things. You got to also make a comic and some really cool frog characters with it as well. And I love that because, you know, you were talking to me about how you have some Ninja Turtle inspiration by it. And, you know, I love frogs because the Puerto Rican animal is the coquille, so it's a frog. Yeah. So, like, for me, it's already hitting home. I already love this frog. And what inspired you guys for this?
That's all Kelly.
Yeah. So I went to the Art Institute of Seattle right out of high school, which I didn't do good in high school or that particular stint in college. But I took this character design class and I designed the frog. And we had to design a character from, you know, anthropomorphic character. So I designed the frog and the teacher just had nothing but good things to say about it. And it just stuck with me forever. I mean, everybody liked the frog. I kept drawing him. I kept trying to think of him in story scenarios. And then when I was going to Otis, we had to develop these stories for different classes and stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm going to develop the frog story. And that's when I finally came up with the story that is the comic book, which is a 64-page graphic novel. It's already completely penciled. I'm writing the second issue and I'm inking the first one now. I'm on like page 11.
Badass. What? You're doing all, so you're doing all of it.
I come home from work and I work on this. I mean, half of my day at my work, I spend working on the business probably. And then I come home and I work till probably 11 drawing and just, trying to keep myself awake.
Man, that's a lot of different skills. He's like an octopus of skills. Like, that is a lot. Between the both,
I have no
life.
That's all I would say about that.
That's a lot of skills.
You know what? It's basically like the way I look at it now is this is my whole life right now. I'm trying to build something that's bigger than myself. Eddie and I are both trying to do the same thing. And it takes a lot, but it's my passion. It's Eddie's passion. And, you know, I like it more than playing video games. I like it more than coming home and having a beer. You know what I mean? Well,
that's good. Well, I know what
they
you're
go hand in hand.
Let's not go too far now.
No, the cars at the studio, we actually have like 3 of them right now. You know what I did want to ask though, Eddie? Do you have the box?
I'm not home right now. It's in my house. Yeah, we got to get the box back out. I don't care.
Eddie's out of town and I'm at my house, so no. The car is at the studio, but I will say this. We had planned on doing a podcast this weekend, building the car and showing everybody exactly how you assemble the car. And we're probably going to do that, you know, next weekend at this point because, you know, this kind of took priority and we wanted to fully focus on this. But we don't. We have the motorcycle, Dead Man, which I don't know that he wants me to show. His Dead Man's like the engine's got to be bigger. The engine's got to be bigger. So that's my goal right now is to make the engine bigger. But no, like the car's at the studio.
So, but you will have eventually a video up about the cars for anyone that really does want to invest in these guys. There is going to be some videos of the cars. There's great pictures on his profile right now, and I made a little video of it. It's stellar, and I'm sure a video is going to be in my opinion, a video is so much different than a picture. You see so much more
sure.
than a video of it. Like, you just really can appreciate all the detail and the craftsmanship on it. So that's really exciting. I hope that join one of your podcasts. Johnny would probably love to join too.
We want both you guys to come on. We want both you guys to come on. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
I'm definitely
awesome.
Because having seen just like the pictures that y'all have shown and the level of dedication, I mean, we're foolish, pardon me, not to support our own. and y'all are really trying to give back to the community that's helping you out. So, I mean, why would people not want to help this? If we don't ourselves, how are we going to get ahead, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a community, and we got to treat it like it's a damn community. So people got to support.
Yeah.
And that's what we.
And the toy
And
community is a community.
you gotta throw out that, you know.
I know and I know everyone's really struggling right now. You know, it's a hard recession. I talk about it every time. I say it I'm preaching it to myself as I say it to you guys. But you know, this is a really good cause. My price point for toys usually is about $200. So again, it's not a super extreme price point, and it's a really lovely package that you get with it. Will you include that comic with the first toy drops as well, or is that going to be something a little bit more separate and different?
No. So no, everything ties together, and that's what I think. We've just picked 112 to build this world around because we like it and it's popular and it's awesome. It allows us to put that much more detail into the figures and stuff like that. Basically what we're working on right now is how we're going to arrange packages between the comic and the action figures that we've got coming out. So that's kind of what we're juggling right now. What we'd like to do is have them released in the first quarter of next year, maybe around the end of January is what it's starting to look like to me, where we kind of present, you know, a company is not just a product, it's products. So yes, we have the car, but I feel like we're going to do a lot better when we start going, I'm yelling again, when we start going to conventions and stuff, if we have more of our world that we can present. If we can have posters of the comic book, art from the comic sitting there, and then action figures with the Bandito, I think people will start to see more of what we're doing.
Now,
that's definitely the next step, and the next level we need to reach is starting to attend these like cons and toy conventions where we actually have booths and tables with me and Kelly sitting there and displays and dioramas and more prototypes of action figures that we've been working on, pieces and parts of the car that you'd be able to swap out,
because
cars that look like they're in the works.
Persona. You need both. Like, people forget that too. Like, if you don't have both the in-person and online persona, like it's who's gonna be there for you online? You know, it's like you need some real people that see your face and be like, yes, I saw them, I felt them, I smelt them. Yes, they're real people. You know, because honestly, people forget. Even when they see us here online, they still forget that we're actual real human beings. We were to say, you know, so it's like it's really important to do that. And like that's what me and Johnny, that's our goal. You know, because we want to start selling toys. And we want to get a toy store down here in Houston. So we really want to start representing artists at conventions, because there's a lot of conventions here in Houston, and we're right next to California. And you guys are in Cali. So, like, you guys are in the #1 location for conventions. Like, truly. Yeah. Really are. So, like, you guys are very fortunate already there, because, like, a lot of people are spending thousands of dollars for Designer Con, which you guys should go to. So just to get there, to just show face. Like I just need to show face. I have to show my face to all these designers, show my face to all these customers here. California is a huge collecting society as well. People don't know that about Southern California, but it's like one of the number one like collectors, because there's a lot of art collectors in California too. I mean, Laguna Beach, where I lived at, and it's art everywhere you go, literally everywhere you go. So it makes me really happy that you guys have I think you guys have a great jump start. I bet you guys are super hard on yourselves and think, oh, we need to do more. We need more. But you guys are so good.
Never enough.
It truly is phenomenal what you guys are doing. And just two guys. You're just two dudes. You don't even, like, it's just amazing. It's like you can't even sell your body parts really to get much. So I mean, you guys really are hustling hard right now. I really applaud you guys.
Thank you.
You got anything to say about it, Johnny?
Yeah, who needs that kidney?
Right?
I think so, right? 2 kidneys, 2 lungs. I could only use 1 eye. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah. But hey, I was going to ask y'all, with the individual characters that you're talking about bringing, are you going to invent like a backstory or them?
Kelly?
Yeah, that's the comic book. So basically, the comic book is the intro to
the world.
It's a lot of pop culture stuff that I've loved. it's a little bit Spider-Man, right? So Oddfrog uses his tongue to zip onto things instead of webbing. He jumps from car to car on the freeway like Frogger instead of, you know, flying. There's an AI construct that to me is a little bit like HAL 9000 from 2001. There's this nano serum that it's like a mutagen, except since it's sciencey, we can kind of dig into the details and understand how it works and stuff like that. So it's just it's an amalgam of all these pop culture things. I'm yelling again. Of these pop culture things. And so
we
that
all yell. So I mean, like it sounds like talking to me. We all literally are yelling.
Really, it shows excitement and it shows the passion that you really.
Thank you.
It's not
projecting,
and you feel what you're saying.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
So the comic book is what's going to tell the origin story of Oddfrog. There's a villain in there that I haven't shown anyone yet that's very compelling. Eddie's character, Eddie has several characters that will be coming into the second issue and the third issue. But yeah, and it's also going to establish the groundworks for the game. So I mean, it's crazy, but it all kind of ties together.
And your characters are going to connect with the car. So it's not like this is just like a random character they're making, guys. Like they really all going to connect in the same universe, which is not easy to do. So you got
so the car will be featured in the second comic that he's working, the second edition. The book is in there. Jones Bones, which is like a Skull type Ghost Rider-esque, you know, Punisher character, will also be in the second second season, the second comic. So they all intertwine, and we're starting to develop this world, this 1/12 scale world, where we plan to develop a lot more products. Like we've seen a couple more companies. We've been working on like the download, like potential dioramas. We saw a fellow creator, High School Creations, who creates dioramas in 1/12 scale, went to I think he went to Kickstarter and like funded these walls for like dioramas. So the diorama scene is also starting to expand into 1/12 scale world. And these are things Kelly and I have been talking about since art school, like just dioramas. Like I mean, it's the way we're just kind of on trend is a bit it's a bit on point, I guess, sometimes.
One more hint.
Good. That's the way you mean. Like again, that's gonna show you. It's gonna show. It really is. Like
I'll drop one hint. I'll drop one hint about the game. So you've got your action figures. They all operate independently and have different moves, way they move, powers, all this stuff. Imagine
articulated. So it's tabletop.
You have these sections of a map that's like a chessboard, right? And then you have a bandito. And let's say it's an evil bandito. And it has 20,000 hit points. And it's automated. And you set that in the middle of the map. And now you and your friends have to join forces with your action figures to battle the 20,000 hit point evil bandito. That's what we're talking about.
That's so... See, that's cool, dude. Like, that's where toys should be at, because some people talk about, like, you know, people who aren't toy collectors, they always ask me, like, Gabby, so you collect a bunch of toys. Like, what do you do with them? And I'm like, what do you do with them, Gabby? And I'm like, I do all kinds of things. You have no idea. But, like, this is a great, just another great thing to add to it. Like, you know, like now this price point, not only it's beautiful photography, it has a game towards it. And your frog character, you should watch My Hero Academia, the anime, because there's a frog character also in it, and it's like it would inspire you very much so. They do really cool, like they have all these cool aminoid figures, so it kind of gives me that feel. So again, hitting pop culture, unintentionally, but like it just shows how on trend you guys are, because My Hero Academia is being compared to Dragon Ball. It is now considered the second best anime ever. So you guys are hitting the trend. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so you're doing it right. Like you're 100% doing it right. People are going to connect to these characters 1,000%. I'm just really excited for you. You know, you guys are worth the investment. It's really hard to want to throw investment to two rich guys, but you guys are definitely worth the investment. So that's really cool.
Thank you so much.
I mean, like you said, you're hitting comic books, you're hitting gamers, you're hitting toy collectors, you're hitting models,
Customizers.
Yeah.
Going on. It's really so much that the depth that y'all have put into this is really, really, really remarkable. And it's really cool that you're making it, that it is affordable. You know, you didn't go Hasbro route like you talked about with that $300, $400 price point. You're making it so the regular Joe who still wants to have a beer at night could still
I have to be able to afford it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's California. We're used to very high price points.
Yeah, I can't afford anything.
Yeah.
If I buy a Bandito, I'm gonna have to drive it to work.
I mean, $7 gas, y'all. Holy heck.
Yeah.
No joke.
And then my Nick said something really funny. She's
And
like, I put my toys.
Our governor wants to bring that to you guys, so have fun.
So she's like, I put all mine awkward poses that annoy my wife and hide them in random places for her to find.
Oh my God.
See, that's
God, Andrew is the funniest. He should be a comedian. He's hilarious.
Good toy culture right there. I like that toy culture. That's hilarious.
Like Elf on the Shelf year round.
Yeah, Elf on the Shelf year round, exactly. Oh man. That's wonderful. No, I think that the comic book is really going to put it together. I think that's a big thing that's missing. And I mean, I talk about it with Johnny and almost all toy collectors. Hello Kitty's like the only toy that had no comic book, no animation, no nothing that really got very successful. And his goal was to beat Mickey Mouse. And I think that's really hilarious.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. That was his only goal. He said, I didn't care as long as I beat Mickey Mouse. Like, and he's like, I didn't even want a TV show with it. I just wanted to beat Mickey Mouse. So I was just
yeah, you know, I think there's something to holding on to that vision. So one of my heroes is Todd McFarlane. I mean, I grew up reading his comic books. That's where the detail for us, our passion for detail, a lot of it comes like that. Greg Capullo. But like his whole thing was like, you know, back in the 90s when everybody's doing flashy covers and all this gimmicky crap, McFarlane just put out a monthly comic book and stayed the course. And like, that's how we kind of want to pattern our business, is for the long haul, you know, no gimmicky stuff, just quality stuff, and deliver what we say we'll deliver.
Yeah, because there was nothing like him in 97.
No.
Nothing like 97.
Oh, he's the most metal of comic book characters, in my opinion.
Nobody knew like what the hell he was channeling when he was coming out with those figures and them in scenes posable. Anything like that, you know?
The things about his figures too, that like Kelly touched on, the level of detail is insane. You know, paint apps is what costs a lot too in toy production. You know, the level of paint, the level of detail you're able to apply. So if you follow many McFarlane groups, like in Facebook, there's a bunch of customizing groups. I mean, when people get a hold of these figures and they paint them, I mean, they look like night and day. I mean, it's insane what customizers can do, and that's what we're trying to provide. You know, just a canvas, but you know, a vehicle that also has a story and a character, but with that level of detail. It's
I can totally, and I think that's like where we're at now too, because even younger kids, and that's the other cool thing about your toys and you having the frog, is that you definitely can get the younger generation. That's the hardest clientele. Like, I'll show a kid. I got a kid out, like, you know, I show him a toy, and he looks at it, like, inspects it. I'm like, I want your opinion on this toy. Okay, this kid's 8 years old. I'm like, and
I remember when I was like that. I knew the difference between a G.I. Joe and a garbage figure on the shelf, you know? I mean, kids know.
They know.
And, so, I mean, I remember looking at stuff and being like, I'm not buying that. The arms don't even move. That's garbage.
Yeah, I was like,
yes, and like your toy's gonna be able to reach out to the younger generation, and that is like, that's when you know you're doing something right.
I worked on Thomas and Friends when I was at Mattel. I was the lead designer on the original wood line. So I understand that marketplace very well.
That explains so much then.
Yeah.
Like, again, it just goes back to like how your guys' experience, even beyond the degree, like the type of jobs that you guys have gotten, like it really shows with this design. Like, that's just so cool. Oh,
thank you.
Such a Californian, God.
True.
I had no comment on Andrew's comment there.
Fun fact that Eddie's and Kelly's used my mother-in-law's likeness for their audio.
We've never met mother-in-law. She's a wonderful woman.
Yes.
Yeah, mother-in-laws really could be the worst sometimes. I have to say
That's
that
right.
for sure. Good comparison, 1000%. So let's get a little timeline on the frog character. In a perfect magical world, when do you think you guys will have that character out?
A prototype.
So the sculpt for the frog is essentially done. I'm just kind of, I'll be finishing him up next week, basically. I'm just making sure his hands will hold like standard size weapons and stuff. I'm making sure all the ankles and knees are going to be thick enough. What we've decided to do is we've found a guy that does like super, really good articulation with everything we want. And we're going to contract out to him to do the articulation just to speed up the process a little bit. And I mean, honestly, once we get established more, Eddie and I probably won't be doing much of the articulation anyways. I more want our signature on the actual character itself.
Yes.
So the character of the frog is basically done. We'll be sending him off in maybe 2 or 3 weeks to get articulation done. And our next focus, which we've already got the design, he's already halfway being sculpted, is the Jones Bones character, who's kind of it's hard to explain. He's dead, basically. So it'll be interesting.
Is he?
But,
is he really though?
Does he think he's dead, or is he in a different time zone or a different dimension? I like it. And the creepy cute, like you need that. Yeah. The frog is the cute. That's really too big. And we were talking about it last time, Johnny, how like that's just the 2 focus points in the toy scene is creepy or cute. I don't know why, but it's what sells. So I think it's really good. Yeah, it's just bipolar, the bipolar opposites, 100%.
Now the Jones Bones, that's what y'all used in one of the photo shoots, I think, for some of the advertising.
That's like a kit bash. I do have a few sculpts. If you go to like the 112th Street Chop Shop page, there's like a few renders of the sculpts I've been working on, and there's like newer versions of it where there's like an alternate head that has a flash and the ear still attached. Right. But there's a kit bash that we use in some of the photos that's made from like Mezco Toys parts and Mezco Doc Nocturnal head. That's more of a kit bash, like a concept just to get it in front of the Bandito while we were working on our own sculpt and our own design of Jones Bones.
What you can.
Yeah. I'm really drinking the Kool-Aid on this brand, dude. I mean, like, it's really cool. Like, the more artists that I meet, the more talent I see. And, like, you think you've seen it all, and you never see it all. That's what's so wonderful about art, seeing someone else's growth. And like, damn, that just made me want to do something. I got so inspired just talking to these people. Like, and I need to get this car. Maybe I'll do something cool with this car. Maybe I'll just put my sticker on my car and call it.
Well, we have decals planned out. Flame decals and racing stripes and like bumper stickers, license plate stickers, window stickers, baby in the car, whatever whatever customization you may need. Decals, we're trying to offer it all. But we got to get started somewhere. So the Bandito is step one, and we're just
and that's a good design. Like, I really think it hits the Hispanic culture really well. It hits like the more urban culture. It hits the more city culture. Like, it's a really cool design, and it's a really good time frame too. That car,
yeah,
you can do like with it
too. Because it is almost reminiscent of something. If you were playing the game, you could run up and steal that car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also.
Yeah. That vibe. Yep. It's got that vibe. 100%. What's that Mad Max movie? I want to see one of those. I want to see you guys customize like a Mad Max car, like those end of the world, like.
Eddie made one.
No. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, that you got to get that up there. I want to see that.
Yeah, we're
calling
it the Gaslands modification, and it's so many people asked for a Mad Max style kit. That's all we have to do is like print out the prototype pieces for that. It's all done. Oh.
And then you could have so many different types of accessories to change it up.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's a lot of potential with that. Like, one design, a million accessories. Like, you get a lot of money in that one.
Yeah, we've developed a system where well, I don't even want to say it, guys, but it's going to be fairly easy to swap out pieces. Eddie designed we're calling it the Bad Van. It's a Punisher style tactical van. It's got gun racks, computers. It's got a slide out minigun with a turret. So, I mean, definitely check out our Instagram and some of our other designs we got coming along.
There's a lot of exciting stuff going on. So make sure you guys follow both of them, especially the 12 scale, especially the Oddfrog Entertainment. And if you got the funds, give them support. You're going to get a lovely, lovely package in return. It may not be right. It'll be a surprise package. You'll forget about it and be like, oh, look at this. I got this dope car in front of my house. Right. It's a little surprise gift. Like, so I think it's definitely worth the investment. I appreciate you guys so much going on. And make sure you guys follow their YouTube, too, because we're going to go join their podcast and hang out with their fun and have some cool time there as well.
Absolutely.
So make sure you give all of us a follow. I appreciate everyone joining on Show Me on the Toys. Until next time. And guys, actually, let's end with one last question. Where do you guys see yourselves 5 years from now?
There you go.
Shoot, Eddie.
5 years from now, we'll be working at Oddfrog Entertainment headquarters. Ooh. And just a line of products, with various different what would you call them, like brands, I guess. We want the Chop Shop, and we want action figures lines. We're thinking plush lines, board game lines. We just want to be somewhat developed. I know we could be, level like a Hasbro or something, but we want to just be like a smaller known company, or just known, and have our little studio with products on the line and making our little ripple, causing our waves. And
they said 5 years from now they'll drive actual banditos.
Yeah, I can make it happen. Yeah,
3D.
Like Hot Wheels. Mattel creates actual size Hot Wheels. We can do a bandito.
Hey, it happens, bro. Like, things like that happen. You got to speak it into the universe, and I think that's definitely going to be your universe. I definitely would. This is going to be a micro brand where you guys are going to be a multi-million-dollar brand, but you're going to keep it micro.
Totally.
And you're not going to sell out to the man, hopefully. That's what I
no. I would say in 5 years from now, I would like to see us be at a point where we can fully embrace also the entertainment side of our Oddfrog Entertainment. I was very inspired by Saban Entertainment, who created Power Rangers and stuff like that. I mean, that guy has his hands in everything now, movies, toys,
he is a
TV, and it's like, it would be nice to be able to tell our stories with that amount of freedom.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's both you guys are both serious designers, like true creators to the max. It's so inspiring. This was a great conversation with my matcha tea smoothie that I made, so I really appreciate you guys. You guys all take care. Show Me the Toys will be again next Wednesday or Saturday. I have a giveaway video coming up. I'm working on it. I'm just kind of a little behind, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Either tonight or tomorrow I'll have that giveaway out. So take care, guys. Enjoy your Saturday.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.